All right, we'll get started here in just a second. Give me just a minute. All right, good Saturday. Well, now almost afternoon where I'm at, Central Standard Time in Corpus Christi, Texas. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Randall's Weather Page. Thanks everybody for joining in. I usually give a little bit of time, but I'm gonna go ahead and get going this morning. Just want to let you know that you are watching Randall's Weather Page Center. And then make sure to check me out on YouTube also at Randall's Weather Page. And then also make sure to check me out at Randall's Weather Page on Twitter. And put my logo in the bottom there. Nice little logo. Pretty nifty. What I'm doing right now is I'm testing out a new streaming production, seeing how it works out. It worked out pretty good last night. We'll keep going and see if this continues. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch you over to my iPad today. We're going to take a good look at what is going to be Future Sally, or Tropical Depression number 19, and see what it looks like, see what the latest model runs show, see if we can get some type of guidance on what could happen. Things are still up in the air, especially when it comes to intensity on what will be Future Sally. So let's get to it. I'm going to switch you over to my iPad and let you see. This is the multi-model diagnostic comparison when it comes to I'm just going to call it Sally because it's going to be Sally. It should be Sally by the end of the day. It has a good look to it, but let's look at the model comparison right off the bat. I notice we got GFS, your two hurricane models, your D ships, your LGEM, and then your official. Okay, and that's all. That is all the models that this shows. And of course, just like last night, your hurricane models are your top models, showing intensification, showing it up to at least a category 1. Okay. Here is, but I like to keep it right at tropical storm to hurricane strength. Okay. Let's move over to deep layer shear. This is where we're at now, September 12th. Notice most models carry the shear up, okay, so greatly intensify the shear. Still waiting to see if this plays out. A lot of this shear comes from the tropical system that's out in front of it, and I think that's being overplayed a little bit. Plus, in your major models, your major hurricane models, your HMON and your HWRF, notice they carry this steadily up too. If you have a lot of shear, if you have 20-30 knots of shear, really hard to maintain a hurricane strength or achieve hurricane strength. So these two, your intensity and your deep layer shear, are not really matching up as far as intensity and where the intensity takes it. So I'm kind of I'm questioning this right here. We'll see what it looks like. Let's go to best track on this, which will be Sally. Notice the official lines it up basically going over Gulfport, Mississippi, and carrying it over towards New Orleans. Your track right now, your model's track, is somewhere along that area with your HMON taking it over more towards Pensacola. Okay, let's get out of this. Let me see if I can pull up some runs here. This is the early model runs. I'm going to pull it over to intensity also. So here's your early model guidance for 19. Now 19 is not here anymore. 19 is more here. So a little bit further south and west of where this was. When it went into Miami and it dropped down, it's almost out into the Gulf right now. So it's more down here. This is your early model guidance, and notice most over here going in towards, let me zoom in on that, most going in towards Gulfport, Biloxi, just east of Slidell, Louisiana, and northeast of New Orleans, Louisiana. So we'll see. Intensity guidance, you got one that has it a category, let's say you have two of them. That's probably your two hurricane models that have it going up to a category 2. You got one here that carries it up to a category 1. And then most others keep it as a tropical storm. So that's the latest model guidance. I'll be interested to see what the 12 o'clock models start showing. And we'll go take a look and see if they're showing up yet. They haven't shown up in the Hurricane Forecast Improvement Program. So let's go see if they have shown up on other sites. Let's jump over to Mike's weather page. Let's get the latest advisory. Just came out. It says 11 a.m. advisory. Sustained winds at 35 miles per hour, moving west at 9 miles per hour. Notice officials still have it as a hurricane. Let me blow this up a little bit. Officials still have it as a hurricane, going in as a hurricane, and going in right on the Louisiana-Mississippi state line. Now, remember what I said last night. If you watched last night's live feed, once the National Hurricane Center starts putting tracks, starts putting cones of uncertainty up, they are really good. Now, 120 hours out, it gets a little bit difficult. The cone gets a little bit wider, notice. But this general track and this general area where you might see landfall, I'm telling you, once the National Hurricane Center gets on that, their pinpoint is very well. So right now, if I'm in Gulfport, Mississippi, if I'm in Slidell, Louisiana, if I'm in Biloxi, if I'm in Mobile, if I'm in the West Panhandle of Florida, I am starting to pay attention, really pay attention to what will be future Sally. All right. So let's back out of that. Let's see warnings. See if we got any warnings out there. We do have warnings. Our watch is here, Tropical Storm Watch. So your Tropical Storm Watch looks like it is in the western part of the Panhandle of Florida. So that's pretty much, I think, Pensacola, and not sure what area that is over there, but got a little small path. Remember, this is where the Hurricane Improvement had it, and this is where the new position is as of 11 o'clock this morning. Let's go to the U.S. rainfall potential. This is going to be the big story, or one of the big stories with Sally, is going to be the rainfall along the Florida, Alabama, Mississippi coastline. It's going to be a huge story because this gets up and only before landfall, it only moves like, I think, 73 miles in a day and a half once it gets right up in here. And that's just going to be nothing but torrential rain falling. So right now, they're calling for 4 to 6 inches along the coastline of Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. I'll go show you other models here in a second of what that looks like. Once again, I'm on Mike's weather page. Let me just go ahead and state that. Mike's weather page is amazing. Mike is great at what he does. So if you're going to pay attention to a website, once again, it's one of the first websites I go to when I get up in the morning. Let's look at the ensemble track. Here's your ensemble track. Whoop, I keep moving it, not that. There we go. Here, one more time. Hello. Here we go. So here's your ensemble track. Notice there was a westward move in the track this morning. Looks like right here, that's why the official track is right on the state line of Louisiana and Mississippi. And you still have a lot of ensemble members that are out here over towards New Orleans. So this could move west. There's some ensemble models east, but a majority of them are right in line with what the National Hurricane Center has, and then a little further west of what the National Hurricane Center says. So that's the ensemble models. Let's go look at the Hurricane Plus global models. Good starting point right here. Notice pretty tight in your fielding for the next 24 to 48 hours. Some models trending east. Once again, your HMNI, which is a hurricane model, trends it east. Notice there's a bend. It comes in, makes landfall, moves up, starts that north turn, east turn, and a lot of them, including the GFS, we'll look at that here in a second, have it recurving back out to the Gulf of Mexico. Pretty strange if that was to happen, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's get out of that. Let's go and show you that GFS model I was talking about. So here's the main GFS model. GFS model pretty much keeps it as a tropical storm. It takes a little further west trek, so it goes actually west of the mouth of the Mississippi in New Orleans, brings it up, brings it into Mississippi, Alabama, stays in Alabama, moves south, goes back over the the Florida Panhandle, and then moves it back out to sea. That's what the GFS is showing right now. And then let's look at the intensity guidance. Notice you have a majority this is different. That 12 o'clock run, the earlier run didn't have as many going into hurricane strength. So your official does take it up into hurricane strength, kind of lower to mid category 1 before landfall. Your purple one, which is your HWRF, actually takes it up to a category 2, and so does your other hurricane model, your HMNI. So your hurricane models are picking up on a strengthening trend. Other models are trying to catch up here. Your official has it as a Cat 1, and then you notice the general consensus is mid-level Cat 1 or mid to upper level tropical storm. And this is all dependent upon that shear that we were looking at earlier. Okay. Let's look at the last coordinates. So just about to enter into the Gulf of Mexico. Once this enters into the Gulf of Mexico, kind of all bets are off as far as intensity on this. So we've had a problem with global models doing intensity forecasting this year. Your hurricane models have been better than your global models. So really going to have to watch out for this. And I'm going to watch the global models real close. Let's see, that's 10, 20, 30, 40 mile per hour winds right here just off. That's probably a buoy. That's just off the eastern Florida coast, so just right outside of Miami. So 40 mile per hour winds right here. 15 mile per hour winds right there. Not much to the south, not much to the north, but on that back side right there is where we're seeing where it tracked through. It's on the back side where we see the winds. Let's see, where do I want to go to next? Let me get out of here. That's your official. Let's go look. I'm going to switch over to, once again, I said this last night, I'll say it again, Radar Omega is one of my favorite radar sites because it has radar, it has satellite, it has future models. It kind of has everything, 3D, You name it, it has it. Let's go for the last 50 frames. I'm going to take it out of velocity. I'm going to take it into reflectivity. And let's see if we can pinpoint in the last 50 frames on the radar where the center is. Let it load up. You can tell right off the bat where the center is, right here. Okay, right over the Everglades, which is swampy, it's water. So the intensification definitely can start now. Definitely can start now. And notice it kind of meanders to the west and then looks like it moves up to the north just a little bit in the last couple of frames. Right here is your center. West, northwest. All right. I'm going to turn, well, before I turn it off, let's go to 3D mode. I'm going to set it on 3D mode. I'm going to turn it around. So we'd be looking from west to east on this storm. There we go. Give you a little bit better view. Why do I look at 3D? Well, number one, it's cool. But number two, it just helps me see cloud tops better. It helps me see rain bands better. So your rain bands going over Fort Lauderdale, coming out into the Gulf of Mexico. But I just kind of, I use 3D to take a look at the inside, or the top part of the storms. So you can definitely notice the circulation. Okay, I'm going to bring it out of 3D mode. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to put it into velocity mode. This is the wind mode. All right. Let's see in the last 50 frames if we can tell where the center is right off the bat, right here, right over the Everglades. And this is the radar down in the Keys. That's looking at it. Let me stop. I'm going to move over to the Miami radar. Let's see. It's the last. Let me load it up here. Definitely tell. So right here is your center. So just about to enter the Gulf. Right there. So looking good on radar. I can't do 3D mode on this one, but I am going to now switch over to satellite mode. And this is the visible blue. Let me go to visible red. Sometimes you can see it. Let's go visible blue. I'm going to run 50 frames on it. We'll take a look at it. Notice the bubbling right here. And it looks really good. Bubble. You can see the twisting. You can see the twisting coming out. The underneath. So somewhere around here, around Marco Island, back to Everglades City, somewhere around here in the Everglades, so Western Everglades, that might be the center right there. Okay, just from satellite view. Good wraparound right there. All right, I'm going to change it. I'm going to go to mid-level water vapor loop. I'll back this out just a little bit. See, there is some dry air out in front of it. Take a wider view of it here. Let's see. Let's give it 50 frames. Let's watch it. So you definitely have dry air to the north and east. You have dry air out here in the Gulf, mid-levels. Might have to battle that just a little bit, but if it organizes better, then it will, it'll have a lot to, it'll push out that dry air. if it gets better organized. And right now, it looks like it's breathing very well. There's your main convection spot right here. So, looks pretty good. I'm going to switch this over. I'm going to see if we've got Hurricane Hunter data on. And wind. There we go. So, as you notice, the Hurricane Hunters are on their way. They're on their way in right now. So they left from Mississippi and they're taking samples of air as they go. They'll start getting down here and start dropping drop zones into the system. And once this information, we've had good radar data, but once this information starts feeding in, once they get down here and get into Future Sally, and once that information starts getting fed into the models, you'll see from this point on out, now that Hurricane Hunters are flying into it, you will see that this is, you'll see the models start getting better data. We'll start getting better runs, okay? Better data in the runs once this happens. So your 18Z runs will have this data going into it. And once that data goes into it, then we'll start seeing some coalescing of the models. And I'll be interested to see what the hurricane models show once this data gets fed into it. All right. Go out just for a second. Let's go back into Mike's weather page. Let's just take a quick look at what I'm going to focus in on just on Future Sally, because Future Sally is the closest threat that the United States has. If we get this thing to load up. Tropical Tidbits is obviously busy at this moment. Let me get back out. Let's go into the Euro. See if I can. Yeah, Tropical Tidbits is having some issues right now. Let's see if I can load this back up to the southeast United States. There we go. I'm going to do. Let's do this. Okay, so here is. Let me run this through. And then we'll stop it. All right, so this was as of last night. So we'll get a new run. Should be happening here pretty soon. So let's go to 24 hours out. Man, Tropical Tidbits is slow. There's a lot of people, whenever hurricane hunters go into storms, a lot of people get into Tropical Tidbits. Let me try to get into 24 hours out. Man, a lot of people in. A lot of meteorologists and people like me into Tropical Tidbits right now. Okay, let's go 24 hours. We're at 24 hours. So this is valid as of basically tonight. So has it as 104 and coming out north. So that would be Marco Island. So coming out north. Let's go to the next. So this would be Monday. This is sunny night Monday. Has it south of the Florida Panhandle. Still is a tropical storm. Then we have Sally. This would be Sally as a tropical storm, and this would be right at the just east of the mouth of the Mississippi, and just south of Biloxi, Mississippi. And that would be close to landfall. That would be Tuesday. And then Wednesday, notice a 24-hour difference. There's basically early Tuesday morning, early Wednesday morning. Look at that. virtually hardly any movement. That's usually, let's see, go back. That may be 70 miles of movement in one day. So guess what? That's going to be a bunch of rain over here. Bunch of rain. And then going in as a Cat 1, it looks like. Right at a Cat 1. So that is the European model. Let's see if we can get this GFS to load up. I'm going to change to region. Southwest. Here we go. Let's go. All right. Here we go. This is as of 12Z on Saturday, so pretty much right now. It is a 106 millibar. Let's go 24 hours. 24 hours has it as that would probably be right at a tropical storm. Winds, that's 40 mile per hour wind bars right there, coming out of the east at the north part of the storm. Let's go to 48 hours. 48 hours, a little bit further south than what the European model has. Okay, still has a tropical storm. Let's just move forward. 72 hours. 997. Notice that this run, this latest run of the GFS, actually has it going further south. So it has it as a category run 1 going into the mouth of the Mississippi, just south of New Orleans. Okay. Then moving up pretty much over New Orleans. Still as a category 1, but notice not much movement whatsoever. Slows it down. Here to here. Okay. Not much movement whatsoever. But still, the GFS and the European pretty much have it going in. Sally going in as a category 1. The European is basically in at Biloxi in Gulfport, Mississippi. The GFS now has this going in basically at the mouth of the Mississippi as a category 1, and then moving up over New Orleans. Let's go to the Canadian model. I'm going to switch here to the Western Atlantic. Okay, this is 12Z run, so let's go 24 hours out. 24 hours out, once again, south of the Florida Panhandle, still as a tropical storm. Let's go 48 hours out. 48 hours out, once again, a little south of what the European model is, kind of in conjunction with the GFS, but still as a tropical storm. And this would be Monday. Let's go 48 hours. I'm at 48 hours. Let's go 72 hours. Notice 48 hours, 72 hours. Notice the difference in slow down. This turns it north. So instead of going in around the mouth of the Mississippi, it actually moves it straight up towards Gulfport and Biloxi, Mississippi. 96 hours. Still not much movement. Notice, let's go back to 48 hours, 96 hours. That's just not much movement whatsoever. So flooding, torrential rain is going to be the issue with this storm. With still questions about intensity because the Canadian does not develop this into a hurricane. This is a very meager tropical storm at best for Sally. I'm gonna get out of here. That's the major ones that we're gonna look at. Let me go into pivotal weather, another good weather weather site that I go to look at models. I want to see. Well, your UK Met is just now updating, but it at least gives me. So I get to regional here. All right, so that is as of now. Let's just look for 24 hours, still loading. So the next 24 hours, the models are pretty much in agreement in where this would be. Kind of end off the west coast of Florida, kind of just south of, due south of the Florida Panhandle. Now this model is still running. It just gave me 30 hours. I can go look at 30 hours. So general movement coming out, turning north, northwest, heading up towards this area. The Louisiana-Mississippi border, the Mississippi-Alabama border, the Alabama-Florida border, somewhere in this neighborhood. Now, the whole reason why I came over here to this site, to be quite honest with you, is because I want to go to the GFS. I'm going to go to total total rainfall amount, and I'm going to do a forecast loop. And I just want to see what the models say about rain, because I think rain is going to be the primary concern with this. So let's go out to 96 hours, or I'm at 102 hours. Well, we'll take it. That's about right. Yeah. We'll take it to 102 hours. Let me blow this up for you so you can see it better. Notice mouth of Mississippi, you got over 10 inches rain, so you got 11 and a half inches of rain at the mouth of the Mississippi. Over here towards New Orleans, about 5 inches. Around Biloxi and Gulfport, you're looking at 8 to 10 inches. Further inland, you're still looking at 7, 8, 9 inches, and that is the eastern part, the southeastern part of Mississippi, in the western and southwestern part of Alabama. So that's what the GFS model shows on potential rainfall out of this system. Okay, so that's the GFS. Let's switch it and let's go to the European model, and we'll see what the European model says at 110. Notice, starting to get some coalescing of rainfall amounts here. So mouth of Mississippi, the GFS model is showing 11. The European model is showing around 13. Notice you get over here towards New Orleans, 5, Slidell, 8, almost 9. Gulfport, Biloxi, around 16 inches of rainfall. And then over towards Mobile, 7, 8, 9, 10 inches. Far reaches of the Western Panhandle, you're looking at 8, 5, somewhere between 4 and 8 inches of rain. Let me run this a little bit further, and let's look at the inland implications on the European. So still north of Biloxi, you're still looking, the European showing 15 plus inches. Once again, south, east, and eastern parts of Mississippi, the western parts and southwestern parts of Alabama, and then your Florida Panhandle. Looking at just a ton of rain. And notice that's pretty much in conjunction with what the GFS showed. All right, let's get out of that. Let's go to UK Met's not going to show me much. Well, that's up to 144 hours. So the UK Met actually showing this going in a little further west. Okay, so a little further west. Not as much rain for the mouth of Mississippi or for Alabama. This is more, the UK model showing more of a Florida. You're talking over 18, 20 inches in the western panhandle of Florida, then moving up far southeastern part of Alabama, and then going into the southern part of Georgia. So if I'm along the northwestern part of Florida, if I'm in the southwestern part of Georgia, if I'm in the southern part of Alabama, the southern part of Mississippi, and the far southeast corners of Louisiana, I'm really paying attention. I'm really paying attention for rain. Okay, a lot of rain. just a lot of high rainfall totals that are showing up with this. I'm going to get out of that, and I'm going to go over to Tropical Tidbits because I just want to see what the latest hurricane models are showing. So here's your H Wharf. We're doing 19. All right, this is a 12Z run. It's still updating, okay? So this is what the 12Z has as the center location of Future Sally right now. And that's a pretty good location. So starts out at a good location. Let's go out 24 hours. It already has it as a category 1 within 24 hours. So notice the difference in intensity. Your major global models don't have it intensifying until it gets up to right at landfall. Right off the bat, your H Wharf within 24 hours has it as a category 1 hurricane. All right, let's go to 48 hours. 48 hours, look at that. That would be a category 2, possibly a category 3 at that millibar. So your hurricane models are definitely seeing a major uptick in intensity. A major uptick in intensity. Very concerning because your hurricane models have been pretty good. They've been better than your major global models. So if I am anywhere from New Orleans all the way over to Panama City in Florida, if I'm anywhere in that area, I'm really starting to pay attention. This is forecast hour 48, so this would be at 12Z on Monday. So right now, Monday is the H Wharf is showing pretty much a category 2 possible major hurricane. Let's go to, let's see, we're at 48. Let's go to 72 hours. Oh, load it up. All right, so we have landfall, still a category 2 or 3 hurricane, and that's going in just at the Louisiana and Mississippi border. Once again, this is the latest run for what would be Future Sally. Okay, and this is the H Wharf. It's a hurricane model. This pretty much has it going in right at the Louisiana-Mississippi border, which is right in line with the latest thinking from the National Hurricane Center. The difference is at 969, you're probably looking at a category 2 hurricane going in. Okay, that's at 72 hours, so that would be, let's see if I can pin down when it would make landfall. So this pretty much has it going in. That's a 953 hurricane. Woo! Okay, that would be a major hurricane going in. That's what your H Wharf model is showing. At 950, that is a major hurricane going in. So I'm gonna go back to my face just to let you know, when your major hurricane models, and they're strictly hurricane models, when they start showing 953 is a landing hurricane, you better pay attention. You better start paying attention right now, because this is 72 hours out. This would be landfall somewhere around early Tuesday morning, late Monday night. I'm going to start paying attention. I'm going to start calling it right now. We need to start ringing the bell. I don't usually do this until I'm seeing this just like you did live. I'm starting to ring the bell right now. Major hurricane models, okay, the hurricane models, one of them is really showing 953 as a landfall. That would be a major hurricane, and that would be going in right at the Louisiana and Mississippi state line. When your hurricane model starts showing a major hurricane going in, you start paying attention. All right, and if you're along this coast, I'm not trying to hype it up. I'm seeing it just like you're seeing it. Okay, and when it shows 953, really start paying attention now. So if I'm in New Orleans, if I'm in Biloxi, if I'm in Gulfport, if I'm in Mobile, I am starting to make my plans on preparation. And you might, if the models continue to show this, if the hurricane models continue to show this consistently, that's when you start making your plans. And that's when you start enacting your plans. Make your plans today. And then if the models keep showing this and the National Hurricane Center shows that this could be a possible major hurricane, make your plans today. If it continues to show this tomorrow, we start enacting our plans tomorrow. Okay? Just telling you, all right? Not trying to hype it up. I'm seeing this real time as you are, but whenever major hurricane models start showing this, 953 landfall on the latest run, these hurricane models are picking up on something that the global models are not picking up on. So that's your HWRF latest run. That is going in at 03 on Tuesday. So it'll be late night Monday, early morning Tuesday. At 953 millibar scares the crap out of me because that's really close to New Orleans. But you're talking about the damage that Katrina did. And Katrina went in about 920. Okay, 920 millibars. So I'm just saying, I'm starting to ring the bell and the alarm right now for New Orleans, Biloxi, Gulfport, Orange Beach, moving over to Mobile Bay, moving over to western panhandle of Florida. You need to start paying real close attention. Real close attention. Let's go to the other major hurricane model. Let's go to 24 hours. So this one's a little bit different because this one does at 24 hours. This was already a Cat 1 on the HWRF. This is still a tropical storm. Okay, in 24 hours. Let's go to 48 hours. 48 hours, 990, probably a Cat 1. It's got it. It's got a little bit further north than what the H1 has it, but that would be a Cat 1. Okay, let's go to 72 hours. All right, Cat 1, possible Cat 2. So even, come back to me. Even the other hurricane model picks this up in intensity pretty quick. At a 976, that's a Cat 1, possible Cat 2. So both your hurricane models are showing at least at minimum a Cat 1 within 72 hours. The H1 has a Cat 1 within 24 hours. So it gets it out into the Gulf and just ramps up intensification. The HWRF is showing a more gradual intensification, so, but still intensification. Let me go back and get it off my ugly face. Get it out here. Let's see, we're at 72. Let's go to 96 hours. Notice this does not take it into Louisiana. Obviously, this takes it into Mississippi. Let me move it back. Let's go to 84 hours. So this would be the HMON. Has this going in directly into Mobile Bay. It's a Cat 1, Cat 2. Somewhere in that, but directly into Mobile Bay. So your HMON is more over here. Your HWRF is over here. Am I on H1 now? I'm on H1, yeah. So HWRF shows it going in over here, closer to the Louisiana, Mississippi state line. Your HMON actually has it going into Mobile Bay, and I'm at hour 84. Let's go to hour 87. Yep, moves it directly into the bay. Category 1, Category 2. So that's pretty crazy. Most of your total precipitable water, notice, on the east side of the storm. Okay, so most of your rain and everything would be on the east side of the storm. If I take it and flip it back to your H Wharf, see, that's at 78. Let's go back to 72. Let's go back to 66. There we go. Notice more, definitely tighter, stronger storm going in Louisiana, Mississippi border, close to New Orleans. Notice your precipitable water more is more evenly distributed. So your H Wharf is definitely your upper end look. Now that we have that, I'm gonna get out of this and I'm going to take you to one more page. Let's see if I can find it right quick. Where's it at? Where's it at? I moved it around. Nope, here we go. Weather Nerds. And the reason why I want to go into Weather Nerds is because I want to go to your H Wharf, and it's 19 right there. All right, I'm going to move it to hour number 66. And then I'm going to go into cross-section mode. I'm going to get a good cross-section of the storm. Let me try right here. Okay. Get cross-section. Another reason why I really love this model, because it can definitely show you cross-sections of, whoops, get that line out of there. Let me blow this up a little bit. So, here's a cross-section. This would be at landfall. This is the H Wharf model. So this is a hurricane model with it landing to Louisiana, Mississippi border. Notice the stronger winds are on the east side of the storm. That has winds. These are in, I believe, knots. If I'm not mistaken. Yes, these are in knots. So you're getting into 112 knots, roughly about 125, 130 mile per hour winds. And I'm going to do, yeah, that's about right. So about 120, 125, upper end maybe 130 mile per hour winds. Notice great structure. This is the center of the hurricane. Notice not much action in there whatsoever as far as winds. Still on the east side of the hurricane, you're looking at 96, somewhere between 90 and 96 knots, so still 100 and 110 mile per hour winds on the east side of the storms, of the hurricane. Let me change the model field. I'm going to go into moisture. And the reason why I do this, I'll see if there's any dry air. It did not do that for me. Not changing it. I don't know why. Well, not showing me. Let's go to wind shear. Well, it's still updating, so it's still coming in. So I can't show your moisture throughout. All I can show is winds right now, but that's okay. That's because the model's still updated and it hasn't finished its run. Usually when the model finishes its run, then it will then show moisture. It'll add in the remaining model fields. So didn't do that on that one, but we can at least see the winds. And the winds, you know, once again, that's category 2, category 3. Let's change the model. Let's go to the HMON on 19. And let's go to forecast hour 66. Let's move it up to 78 hours. Update. There we go. So this would be going in right now. Let's go take a look at the winds. I'm going to switch to cross-section mode. straight across, and then get cross section. Once again, this model is still updating, so I probably won't be able to show if there's any moisture impeding in it. But notice still here, down here, you got at least somewhere between 100 and 112 mile per hour winds on the east side of the storm. Definitely a bigger eye than what the H-Wharf had. This is the H-Mon. So definitely a bigger eye. Not as a consistent wind field on the west side of the storm, more consistent wind field on the east side of the storm. Okay, and you're looking at, somewhere around 100 knots, so about 110 going in, and that would be going in at right into Mobile Bay. Okay, so that's what the latest runs of the H-Wharf, your major hurricane models, that's your runs. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop there. We've looked at a lot of information, and we looked at it real time. So in conclusion, this is going to be future Sally. Sally's is entering into the Gulf of Mexico right now. Your major global models keep it right at a tropical storm, maybe a Hurricane 1 if you look at consensus, but high-end tropical storm, maybe Category 1 storm going in as the global models see it. The hurricane models definitely seeing it. Your H-Wharf is seeing a major hurricane going in at the the Louisiana Mississippi border. Monday night into Tuesday morning, your H-Mon shows this going in at the directly into Mobile Bay as a Category 1, possibly a Category 2. So real-time information coming to you. That's what it looks like right now. I'm going to try to produce a video today. I'll put it out on YouTube. But I've absolutely enjoyed it. I'm going to look and see if there's any comments. I don't see any comments right now, so nothing to comment on. Just my brief synopsis and real-time views as the models were coming in at 12 o'clock today. So Sally is going to be something to be watched and watched closely. I am ringing the bell for from New Orleans all the way over to Panama City, Florida, for at least a Category 1 going in. We are getting hurricane hunters that are going into the system as we speak. So your 18Z runs tonight will have that hurricane hunter data going into it. So we'll be able to get some better readings. But definitely your global models are, high tropical storm into maybe a Category 1, going generally into the Louisiana Mississippi state line. Your hurricane models, one has it as a major hurricane going in, basically it's the same position. Your other model shows it going in as a 1 or a 2 directly into Mobile Bay as of right now. But if I'm along the Gulf Coast from New Orleans all the way over to Panama City, Florida, I'm making my plans today on what happens if a Cat 1, Cat 2, or Cat 3 hurricane comes knocking at my door. So you make your plans today, and then we'll take a look at what the models consistently say over the next 4 or 5 runs. And then if the case is that we're seeing something, something major trying to brew, then tomorrow's when you start enacting those plans. Okay, just ringing the bell early because what possibly could be going on with Sally in intensification due to what the hurricane models are saying. All right, thank y'all very much for watching. Hey, even though the video, if you didn't watch, you're watching later, just make sure to drop me some comments in there. I'll go back, I'll answer all the comments, questions, or anything that are in my post. Thank y'all very much. Greatly appreciate it. See you later.